having a... No, what makes me laugh? Ricorda il giorno, non si passa quando siamo in famiglia. We have an old proverb in Italy, con niente non si fa niente, which means you can't make something out of nothing, especially when it comes to cooking. As a chef, I'm obviously a perfectionist. When it comes to my restaurants, I only accept the best of everything that I do. I work in a very busy kitchen, where we're always striving to give our diners the most enjoyable food experience. To do this to such a high level, every day, takes a lot of skills, coordinations and teamwork, and I make sure I only work with the best people. I also insist on only using the very best ingredients, the freshest fish, the best cuts of meat, the tastiest vegetables, herbs and spices. Beautiful. And I absolutely have to have the best equipment to cook with. This is so important when you are working under pressure in a dynamic, bustling kitchen. My cookers, ovens and hobs have to be powerful, easy to use, robust and reliable. It simply can't be any other way. Only the best will do. And that goes without saying when I'm at work. But I believe if you love to cook at home, you shouldn't compromise with anything either. I don't, and that's why I'm really proud to recommend Gastron, the new range cooker from Cable. The name comes from gastronomy, which means preparing, choosing and eating good food, which is something us chefs really understand. New cookers come along all the time, but Gastron really live up to its name. It has some great features to help you when you're cooking at home. It's A, energy rated, which is quite unusual for a range cooker. They're not normally that efficient. It has 4 gas burners, ranging from really powerful to simmer, and I always prefer to cook on gas anyway. There is a small oven rotisserie and a superb cast iron griddle right in the middle of the hob. Great for cooking meat, fish and vegetables to get those lovely griddle marks. And if you remove the griddle, there are 2 ceramic plates underneath, so you get 6 superb hob zones, perfect for a busy meal times. It even has a pizza stone for baking your own crispy pizza at home. It looks great and it's robust, built to professional standards to give you great results every time. It really is a special cooker. In fact, I'm going to demonstrate this to you now. I'm going to use Gastron to cook one of my favorite dishes, carré d'agnello al rosmarino. To you, rack lamb with rosemary. For this, I will be using some beautiful earthy ingredients: succulent lamb, red chilies, rosemary, baby carrots, aubergine, potatoes, and some garlic. A fantastic mix of flavors and textures. Okay, and here I'm going to cook my favorite lamb dish. I've got great rack of lamb here, really lean. I've French trimmed the fat off completely. I'm going to marinate them for a couple of minutes in some lemon and extra virgin olive oil. Then, once I've done that, we're going to grill them, salt and pepper. And here we go, in goes the lamb. Just have a look at this beautiful lamb here. Absolutely great. I don't cook a lot of meat, but when I do, this is my favorite. Okay, now what I'm going to do, once this is lovely and marinated, it goes onto my griddle for about 3 minutes on each side. In the meantime, I'm going to quickly wash my hands because I've been dealing with raw meat, so it's very important you wash your hands in your kitchen. And while that's happening, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a breadcrumb with lots of fresh herbs, and then I'm going to use some mustard on the lamb, and I'll show you the final recipe here is absolutely to die for. Okay, that's how you deseed your chili. You cut it, then you go like that. Maybe in the bin, because you don't want to make too much mess. Okay, and then you chop. Okay, chop your chili with Aldo Zilli. It's an old one. Okay, and then into the breadcrumb goes the chili. Let's crush the garlic and chop the garlic very, very fine in there. And what we do is we chop the garlic and the rosemary together now, so that the rosemary doesn't go black, believe it or not. That's what happens. Okay, rosemary, a little bit of sage. Sage is a very strong herb, so make sure you don't use too much of it, otherwise it will overpower your dish completely. But nevertheless, it's a great herb to use. Okay, a little touch of extra virgin olive oil into the breadcrumb. Then you bring it up here, give it a good mix. Lovely. Now that's ready for me to put the lamb in as soon as the lamb is ready. Quickly wash my hands again. Here we go. Now, let's see what's happening with the lamb here. Look at that. Beautiful. You probably haven't noticed, but I left a little touch of fat attached to that meat so that it gives me that glaze that I want at the end. And now the lamb for me is good enough to put it into the breadcrumb, because all I want is to sear the meat so the juices stay inside when it cooks in the oven. Okay, so I'm going to put it in there, my bowl here. But before I do that, there's a little trick I'm going to do with the mustard. Right, as much or as little mustard that you like, and then just drizzle the breadcrumb on top like this. It's a bit like making a Milanese, if you like, you know, but we're not using eggs. And there you go. There's one ready. Look at that. That looks gorgeous. Okay, a bit more mustard here. Lovely. More breadcrumb. In the meantime, I'm going to bring my roasting tin onto the fire here because I want it nice and hot. There you go. Breadcrumb all over. Absolutely gorgeous. There you go. That can go away now. Wash my hands again. If you haven't got a sink nearby in your kitchen, all you need is a bowl with warm water and a few lemons, so that your hands are always nice and clean. Okay, extra virgin olive oil now into my roasting tin. And the lamb goes back in. And that is going to be lovely and crispy breadcrumb when it comes out. I've got some baby vegetables here. Got some, it doesn't matter what vegetables you use, quite frankly, but I'm using aubergine, baby aubergine, and I've got some baby carrots here, which I'm not even going to bother cutting them. I'm just going to throw them in like that. They're so sweet, and they're going to caramelize this beautiful lamb. Okay, carrots, and then I've got some baby new potatoes which I've pot boiled. They're going in. Now, before I put it in the oven, I like to add a little bit of wine. Not too much wine. Okay, and that is it really. A little bit of seasoning onto the vegetables, just to finish off the dish before you put it into the oven. Into the oven it goes for about 20 minutes, and it's pretty fast for a Sunday roast, I would say. Okay, here we go. Let's see, 25 minutes has passed. Wow, this is what I call a Sunday roast. In minutes, half an hour, you can do this at home, no problem whatsoever. Absolutely wonderful. Look at this lamb, perfectly cooked. And now, how do I check that it's cooked? Put a knife in there. Hot. Absolutely fantastic. Wonderful. Now, what I want to do is I want to serve the potatoes and all the vegetables in the same dish. So this becomes a center piece for your table. If you've got 2 people, if you've got 4 people, if you've got 6 people, you can have as many people as you want, and you can still do this great dish. People buy legs of lamb, you know, you could buy a leg of lamb and do the same thing. But the rack of lamb, it's a great cut, really, really soft and tender, doesn't need a lot of cooking. You can keep it nice and pink in the middle, and it just does a great job. So I've got all the vegetables going into this plate. Okay, lovely. There you go. Then the 2 lamb racks are going to sit on the side. And now what I'd like to do, I'd like to deglaze this pan, as in making a stock. That's what I'm going to try and do here, and I'm going to make probably the best stock that anyone's ever seen. Here we go. Balsamic vinegar, butter, red wine, all into the same pan. A little bit of stock. Now, a final touch of wonderful flat leaf Italian parsley, which I'm going to rip into this stock just to finish my dish off and to give it a little bit of color. Really important. Presentation at the end, obviously, crucial. Okay, so now I'm going to melt this butter. Once the butter is melted inside, and this is reduced down to half, then you can serve it on the side of your lamb in the center of the table, or you can put it right on top of it, like I'm about to do myself. So here we go. The sauce now is going to go on top of the lamb, and all the juices are going to go around the vegetables, and everything is going to be absolutely wonderful and ready to eat. Here we go. Even I don't eat a lot of meat, but when I see these things, brings me right back to my childhood when my mum used to do the Sunday roast, and this is exactly what we used to do. And there's your best lamb dish, Zili style. Salute!